SCP-4111. Straight from the horse's mouth and into the fire. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. No instances of SCP-4111-1 may be created without Level 3 authorization. Any existing instances of SCP-4111-1 not currently in use must be stored in a secure anomalous items locker and is not to come in contact with a saltwater solution unless authorized for transport to SCP-4111. Foundation personnel who wish to explore SCP-4111 for an extended period of time will be supplied with a standard arid climate survival kit. Personnel who find themselves trapped in SCP-4111 for any reason are to be recovered as soon as possible. Should any other humans be found within SCP-4111, they are to be retrieved, interviewed, amnesticized, and integrated back into society. Description: SCP-4111 is a location currently believed not to be on Earth that can be accessed by enacting a specific ritual. The ritual itself can transport multiple people, as well as objects between locations under specific circumstances. See SCP-4111-1 below for clarification. SCP-4111 is apparently entirely underground, with a breathable atmosphere, and the majority of the visible landmass is solidified halite, which is interspersed by rivers, lakes, and occasionally oceans of superheated liquefied halite. There is no visible light source outside of the ambient light given off by the superheated halite, and further exploration of the location has revealed a ceiling of currently indeterminable height, also made of solidified halite. All natural sources within SCP-4111 are cuboid in structure. No natural curves have been observed while in SCP-4111. SCP-4111-1 is an object that must be created in order to transport subjects and objects to SCP-4111. While certain variables about the object may change, certain aspects such as the stuffing and the shape must follow a guideline detailed in the instruction manual by an organization called the Gemenskap Coalition, discovered alongside Person of Interest 418. For information on creating an instance of SCP-4111-1, please go to Addendum 4111-A. Successfully created instances of SCP-4111-1 will flash a yellow light briefly and emit a 3-tone chime upon completion. Upon submerging an instance of SCP-4111-1 in a saltwater solution, the next human and any other people or objects it is in contact with will be transported to SCP-4111, along with the instance of SCP-4111-1. The only way to return from SCP-4111 is death. Should the subject who initiated the ritual to SCP-4111 die while inside SCP-4111 for any reason, they and any other people and objects the subject is in contact with will be transported back to the location in which the ritual was initiated. After the subject's death, they and any other people brought with them will be alive and healed of all injuries sustained within SCP-4111, and in addition, SCP-4111-1 will appear somewhere beside the subject rather than in its possession. Subjects retain memories of their time within SCP-4111, up to and including their death. Several objects supposedly not native to SCP-4111 have been discovered during exploration logs, as detailed below. The following list supports the claim that SCP-4111 has been visited numerous times and has been explored by people prior to the Foundation's discovery of it. List of discovered items from SCP-4111. Several human and animal skeletons. Several wooden chests containing cut and uncut gemstones of varying quality and value. A package of golden Oreos, half eaten. An iPhone 4. A M1911 pistol. A pickaxe. A man-made water reservoir with a filtration machine and a single metal cup. An apple tree orchard, along with several apple cores in varying states of decay. Discovery. On September 28, 2000 redacted, Person of Interest 418, the first subject known to travel to SCP-4111, suddenly appeared near the wreckage of the Redacted, a ship that sunk in the Atlantic Ocean around 2009. Person of Interest 418's manifestation was captured by an ROV controlled by Redacted, exploring the area at the time. When the event was reported that a man had suddenly appeared in the ocean during an exploration, the Foundation located and recovered them, amnesticizing any witnesses. Recordings of Person of Interest 418's manifestation were confiscated, and the ROV responsible for the recording was destroyed and sunk, given the cover story of a malfunction during the exploration. Below is an interview with Person of Interest 418 post-recovery. Interview 4111 redacted. Begin log. Agent Sweatner coughs and sits down. Agent Sweatner. Alright, you feeling comfy? Considering the reports of the situation we just dragged you from, we figure you might want a chance to sit on something not made of metal. Or salt. Hopefully that cushion is good enough. Person of Interest 418 adjusts his seat. Person of Interest 418. I appreciate it, but I'm more just happy to finally see a human face after so long. Alright, right. We heard your explanation about the doll and the, salt world. Person of Interest 418 looks like he's about to speak. Agent Sweatner holds up their hand. Before you even start to worry, we believe you. Well, we don't necessarily believe the fact that you claimed it was literally hell, but we believe you went to somewhere else. I mean, what else could you call where I went? Well, I haven't personally been there, so I guess I'm not one to say. But the specifics of what you call where you went don't matter right now. What matters is how you got back. I don't know how I got back. I don't even know how I got in. One moment I was just underwater. Then I found that doll, and when I touched it, everything went black. Except this one, white horizontal line that I could see. I tried moving towards it, but the next thing I knew I was there. We figure that the doll has something to do with your entry, obviously. But what we need to know is how you managed to escape. What was the last thing you remember? The last thing I remember? Well, the last thing I remember is Person of Interest 418's expression becomes worried. Was anyone else with me when I got out? Was anyone else? No, nobody else was there with you from what I read. Person of Interest 418 hunches over and begins pulling his hair with his hands. No. Are you trying to say that someone came with you that didn't make it out? Person of Interest 418 rubs his eyes and inhales deeply. I need to go back. I need that doll. I need to go back. If there's someone else with you, we'll find a way to get in, retrieve them, and bring them back. But we need to know how you got back before we can do that. Person of Interest 418 sighs. The last thing I remember is that I died. Sydney and I were trying to cross the river when the ground collapsed beneath me. Agent Sweetner leans forward. Sydney? Sydney. Like Sydney, but a horse. That's what I named her. You found a horse? No, she found me. When I was laying there, half deaf, half dead, and suffering from the pressure change, she came to me and dragged me over to some place that wasn't swelteringly hot. She's a good horse, and I need to go get her here. Well, if you died in there, who's to say that death isn't what brings you back? How long could a horse realistically last on her own? She's not one to die fast. She's a survivor, I bet she was there a long time before I was. How do you know? She led me to a farm. Well, kind of a farm. Someone tried to make one there, apparently. I figure that's why she's there at all. Don't know how long she's been there, though. Well, if you claim that the last thing that happened before you came back to here was your death, once we run a few tests, we'll gladly kill your horse for you. Person of Interest 418 looks up at Agent Sweatner. No, I want to do it myself. You didn't bond with her like I did, and if she needs to die to get back here, I want to be the one that kills her. I'm not entirely sure that's going to be possible, considering I know that place better than anyone. I was there for what? A month? I've explored the area. I know where we would need to go to find her. Considering the fact that we're still not sure that's the only way to return. What do you need to run your tests? I'll be a guinea pig. I don't care. I'll do whatever I need to do to get your permission and find her and bring her back. Agent Sweatner and Person of Interest 418 are silent for several moments before Agent Sweatner sighs. You seem like a good guy. I'll see what I can do, but I make no promises. Agent Sweatner pauses. Though, finding a person willing to be a test subject is a rare thing in our line of work, so you might just be lucky. Thank you. I'll give you whatever other information you need so long as you let me be the one that goes in there. Again, no promises. End log. Since this interview, Person of Interest 418 has been completely compliant to any questions the Foundation has asked of him, and has willingly volunteered for any testing regarding entering and leaving SCP-4111. His request to attempt to rescue Sydney, furthermore Person of Interest 418H, has been approved under the circumstances that he be fully amnesticized after the extraction is complete. Addendum 4111-A. Shortly after Person of Interest 418's recovery, the Foundation launched an independent exploration of the Redacted for any information regarding his manifestation. Discovered near Person of Interest 418's point of manifestation was a single instance of SCP-4111-1. Further exploration discovered 4 further instances of SCP-4111-1 somehow intact. In addition, a waterlogged book was discovered, with partially destroyed instructions regarding the creation and use of instances of SCP-4111-1. After partial restoration, the Foundation was able to determine the following key aspects in the creation of an instance of SCP-4111-1. Instances of SCP-4111-1 must be created with cloth, yarn, or silk. Instances of SCP-4111-1 must resemble a 4-limbed humanoid. Instances of 4111-1 must be filled with salt, soil, flaked obsidian, and ash. The Foundation has since been able to create further instances of SCP-4111-1 to access SCP-4111 at will. Extraction of Person of Interest 418-H. On November 16th, 20 Redacted, Mobile Task Force Epsilon 9, Fire Eaters, along with Person of Interest 418, successfully completed multiple individual rituals to enter SCP-4111 with intent to safely retrieve Person of Interest 418-H. Along with Person of Interest 418, 4 agents were selected to travel with him, codenamed Agent Peel, Agent Chintico, Agent Hephaestus, and Agent Lalahan. Exploration Log EX-4111-27. Extraction of Person of Interest 418-H. Date: November 16th, Redacted. Forward. The following footage is from Agent Peel's body camera. Begin log. Imagery shifts from the Foundation's secure testing facility to a dark cavern. Agent Peel turns towards the rest of the team. Person of Interest 418 is fumbling with his gear, adjusting it. Agent Peel. 418, you alright there? Person of Interest 418. Yeah, no worries here. I don't know how you get used to this much bulk, though. Agent Chintanko. It's either this or die to heat exposure. The suits may be a bit hard to maneuver in, but otherwise it keeps you cool. Agent Hephaestus. Trust us. 4 of us have stress tested these suits here plenty. Wait, Agent Chintanko turns towards Person of Interest 418. Something else the matter? If you're scared, you don't need to worry. We'll get your little friend out of here in no time. Don't fret, hon. It's not that, it's... I survived here a month without this gear, and I didn't die because of heat exposure. Hell, I was in a wetsuit for most of the time. Strange. I'm sure you stayed away from the molten salt lakes, yeah? I mean, I tried to. If I needed water, I had to cross over a molten river, but I stayed away in the shade as much as I could. Agent Hephaestus walks up and pats Person of Interest 418 on the shoulder. Then, that's probably why. Regardless of what you were wearing then, These suits were designed to retain body temperature even in extreme environments. You'll at the very least not be suffering. Cheery way to put it. We're not exactly in a cheery situation. Oh, come on, let's move. Agent Peel and Lalahan take the lead. Person of Interest 418 in the middle, Agents Shantiko and Hephaestus in the back. They make their way through the cavern, heading towards a light which they assume to be the mouth. So, a whole month here, huh? And not a single human? No wonder your best friend is a horse. The sound of Agent Shantiko punching Agent Hephaestus is heard. Hey, what was that for? Don't be a dick, Hef. You have no right to judge him for that. I mean, he's right. Kind of. I was desperate to meet someone, to see someone else in this place. Sydney was always there for me, for whatever I needed. Gross. Agent Shantiko once again punches Agent Hephaestus on the shoulder. Kidding. Obviously, I knew what he meant. Agent Lalahan. Out of curiosity, why Sydney? What do you mean? Out of all the names you could have chosen, why choose that one? I mean, I had a cat back home that I named Meowster Chief. I had a dog a few years back named Bark Obama. Name my pets after puns. God. Bark Obama? Okay, yeah, that's not something I can defend you for. That's just a bad name for a dog. Person of Interest 418 laughs. Listen, I have a naming convention, and I stick to it. It's my thing. Oh, God. Hey, you asked. I expected a cute answer, not a series of the worst puns I had ever heard. The team reaches the mouth of the cave. A few meters in front of them is a large, snaking river of molten halite. Agent Peel looks down and sees signs of significant tread along the shorelines of the river. She turns to Person of Interest 418. 418, this the place you're looking for? Person of Interest 418 looks at the river and shakes his head. I'm not sure. I saw a few different rivers during my time here, or maybe it was the same one, but it was super long. I didn't make a map, but, well, I didn't exactly have the materials to, just a lot of apples and water. Only apples and water, really. Person of Interest 418 laughs nervously. Well, if you see any landmarks that look like they could lead us to where we need to be, feel free to shout them out. We might have been around, but you've been here a lot longer than any of us. Plus, it's your horse after all. Right, yeah, I can do that. Agent Peel turns away. The team continues along the bank of the river. What are you gonna do with that horse anyway? Can you ride horses? First thing I'm doing when I get out of here is buying lessons. You didn't ride her at all while you were in here? I was too scared that I would mess up and ride her straight into a river. Isn't that how you died though? The first time you were here, I mean. Not quite. I was walking next to her when a bridge caved out from under me. It was one of those natural ones, so it just crumbled, I think. Geez, that must have been terrifying the first time. Considering that you had no idea that you were gonna come back after that. I mean, if you had asked me about it a couple weeks ago, I'd be a bit wary, but I've died what, 9 times now? I might just be a guy who works at Costco, but after the first few deaths, dying no longer really gets to you. Good man. Surprised that a person like you could survive under the circumstances that you did, but I can respect that. Yeah, there are other agents that haven't even died that many times. Shame that you're gonna forget about that stuff, or else you'd make a decent agent yourself. Hey, it's really nice of you to say, I think. Not sure what use I'd be, considering my only useful skill is diving. It's not even my main thing. That's just a hobby that I do in my vacations. You learn fast, which is something at least. And you know, the whole not afraid of dying thing is something you might want should you ever get into situations like these. Well, I'll consider it. I'm not sure if I'm exactly secret society material, but it's okay. We're not trying to pressure you into joining. Not everyone has a stomach for the stuff. Plus, the paperwork is almost enough to make you reconsider. Agent Lalahan, Agent Shantiko, and Agent Hephaestus laugh. Alright, it's still nice for you to offer though. The team continues to walk along the riverbank until they come across a natural bridge of halite. In the distance are 3 pillars of halite, one partially collapsed. Wait, I think this is it. The team stops moving. Agent Peel turns towards Person of Interest 418. You recognize this place? Yeah, this is definitely... No. Wait. Something wrong, 418? I know those pillars, and I know that bridge. Just a few yards away is the reservoir, but... Agent Hephaestus leans towards Person of Interest 418. Is that the bridge that you fell off of? I didn't fall off that bridge, I told you. A chunk of it collapsed. I swear it did. I fell through the ground and into the river. Agent Peel adjusts her camera to zoom in on the natural bridge. It is completely intact. No signs of recent collapse or repair. You fell through that bridge, 418? You're absolutely certain? I mean, you've gone through a lot of stuff, died a lot, you know? Maybe you've gotten some deaths mixed up? Person of Interest 418 shakes his head. I mean, I swear I fell through that bridge. Well, the important thing is that you can find your horse from here. I mean, if this is the bridge that I died on, I know how to get to the reservoir, and I know how to get to the orchard. If Sydney's anywhere, she'll be at one of those places. Agent Peel moves towards Person of Interest 418 and takes him by the shoulder, moving him to the front. Then lead the way. We all have our dolls, so we'll be fine if something bad happens. Alright. Let's check the orchard first. It's by the pillar things tucked up between them. Kind of a dangerous place to put a farm considering one of those things has collapsed, isn't it? Person of Interest 418 shrugs. I didn't build it. The team approaches the 3 halite pillars in the distance. Eventually, the apple orchard is approximately 20 meters away. Person of Interest 418 slows down and then stops, leaning forward and putting his hands on his knees. They're a problem, 418. Person of Interest 418 does not respond. He then straightens out and breaks into a sprint. I can see her! I can see her! She's right there! Look, you can see her! The team tries to keep pace with Person of Interest 418 as he runs towards the destroyed pillar. As they get closer, they can see Person of Interest 418H obscured by the pillar, resting beneath one of the trees. Jesus, man, hold up, gotta be careful around those things. 418, that structure does not look stable. Try to tread lightly. Person of Interest 418 takes off his mask and headgear, tossing them to the side. Agent Peel picks it up once he reaches them. 418, don't be rash. Here, we can't afford to make a mistake. Yes, we can. If we fuck up, we can come back. I'm not letting this opportunity go to waste. Person of Interest 418 reaches Person of Interest 418H and wraps his arms around her. Person of Interest 418H vocalizes. Oh, Sydney, I knew I would see you again. Person of Interest 418 kisses Person of Interest 418H on the snout. Such a good girl. Such a good horse. How have you been? The rest of the team slows down and approaches the orchard and Person of Interest 418H with caution. Agent Peel tosses the mask and heads towards Person of Interest 418. You're lucky that this air is breathable, 418. Not sure that's possible considering the massive amount of volcanic degassing that should be occurring here. I had to let her know it was me. We all look the same in the masks. Agent Peel mumbles to herself. Not even sure how a horse could survive here. Agent Peel, Agent Lalahan, and Agent Chantico investigate the orchard. Weird. Hey, I think the two of them are being sweet together. I don't mean 418 and his horse. I mean the orchard. Agent Lalahan gestures to one of the trees. Agent Peel turns towards it, showing that it is perfectly healthy. There are apples growing at an accelerated rate on every branch, and they seem to not have any abnormalities. Every few seconds, a single apple drops from the tree. The tree itself was not planted in any soil, but rather directly in the halite. No dirt, it's just planted in the mineral itself. Can't see a source of water either. Maybe the horses care for them? If not that, magic? I guess that's about as reasonable of an explanation as any, especially considering we're in a place where we travel to via voodoo doll. Agent Lalahan shrugs. I don't know. Peel, are you recording this? I have footage of the orchard, don't worry Lalahan. This is definitely something the researchers would be interested in, I feel. Agent Hephaestus approaches Person of Interest 418 and Person of Interest 418H. So, this is her then? Person of Interest 418 looks up to Agent Hephaestus. I could recognize the white spots on her anywhere. Person of Interest 418H vocalizes. Person of Interest 418 laughs. I think she recognizes me too. Agent Hephaestus looks up at the destroyed pillar of halite, carefully placing a hand on it. Kinda weird how she managed to survive so long. You said she was here before you were? Yeah, I mean, she has a solid supply of apples from these trees and a good source of water across the river. Plenty of space to run. I heard sometimes horses eat people to survive. Maybe that's why there aren't any? Person of Interest 418 laughs nervously, then turns to Agent Hephaestus and swings at him with a fist. He misses, hitting the pillar instead. The pillar groans loudly as it threatens to collapse further. Shut up. That's probably just like a rumor or something. Chunks of halite break off the pillar, falling towards Agent Hephaestus, Person of Interest 418, and Person of Interest 418H. Listen, when you get back, before your memory gets wiped, read the story about a horse eating a Russian soldier. It's creepy, but also kind of funny in a way. 418, Hephaestus, get out from under there! Agent Hephaestus looks up and swiftly moves out of the way. Person of Interest 418 looks over towards Agent Peel, confused. Wait, what's going on? Is there... Several large chunks of halite fall on top of Person of Interest 418 and Person of Interest 418H. Person of Interest 418 is crushed instantly, demanifesting as expected. Person of Interest 418H is nowhere to be seen. Fucking Christ. Well, at least they were in contact. That should mean that Sydney's been extracted, right? Person of Interest 418H vocalizes. Fuck. The remaining team members approach the rubble, looking for Person of Interest 418H. Person of Interest 418H is apparently occupying the same space as the rubble, vibrating violently as its limbs splay out in unnatural directions. It continues to vocalize as if nothing is happening. The rubble around Person of Interest 418H is not reacting to any of its movements. What the fuck? It's like a programming glitch. Person of Interest 418 becomes rigid, sticking its limbs out horizontally on either side of itself. It then instantly appears next to the rubble, standing and free of injury. It begins to walk towards the orchard, and begins to eat an apple that has fallen from the tree. I don't think it's like a glitch, Agent Lalahan. What are you trying to imply? Oh, come on. You've heard of anomalous simulations before. This is just a poorly created one. And whoever made it didn't know how to properly make a landscape. Inaccuracies in the atmosphere, people falling through the floor, improper temperature gauges. So this whole place is just a program? Is that horse just a part of it then? Well, considering it didn't demanifest or perish like people that came from outside of this place do, I would presume so. The team remains silent as they watch Person of Interest 418H consume more apples. So, what are we gonna do? Report this finding to the Foundation. They'll do with it what they need to do. And 418? What do we even tell him? He volunteered to be amnesticized anyway. He won't care if we tell him his horse never existed. The team is once again silent as Person of Interest 418H walks away from the orchard, heading towards the natural bridge over the river. Poor guy. Worse things could have happened. It's just a horse anyway. Yeah, but he went through a lot to get her. It won't matter. He understood the risks and he understood that the mission might not have been successful. In fact, he helped us further our knowledge of this place because of that. Don't think he was in it for the scientific discovery. Agent Pio sighs. Let's just go. We can figure things out when we're back. Agent Peel removes her firearm from her holster and aims it at her head. She fires. End log. After Mobile Task Force Epsilon 9 successfully left SCP-4111, they reported their findings to Foundation researchers. Person of Interest 418, who had been escorted from the testing premises after arriving prior to the rest of the agents, was not informed of the true nature of SCP-4111 or Person of Interest 418H. Person of Interest 418 is currently located in a Foundation-monitored neighborhood in redacted Washington. He is safe and has not been approached by any other people with anomalous intent. Thank you for listening to SCP-4111. If you enjoyed this SCP, please follow the link in the description to the SCP Wiki, and vote it up to support it and the SCP Wiki as a whole.